So I've been looking into the construction of dams for some reason because I was very impressed that men had somehow found ways to build huge structures inside water, and that doesn't make sense to me. So I was looking into it, and then a thought struck me about just how amazing the efforts of men have been throughout history, and the things we design and build and construct, our power supply, our water supply, our sewage system, all the buildings that we live in are, it just is so phenomenal how we've managed to create structures and systems that work so well. And our lives are so fantastic because of it. And street lighting, water supply, gas supply, electricity, and the houses we live in, it's just all phenomenal how it works so well. And I really can't believe it's possible. And what I'm thinking is that the time I'm living in now is whatever, it's 2021 now. How are people gonna look at how I'm living in 2200? In the year 2200, that's 180 years away. Is it? Yes. I'm being a bit dopey, I think. Yeah, I think, yeah, 2200. That's 180 years hence. Now, when we, from now, look back 180 years ago, the level of technology there was really basic, and they led very difficult, arduous lives, and they didn't have so much of the ability we have to survive. They didn't have the facilities that we take for granted, like our water and our food supplies, our electricity, our computers, our roads and cars, our water supply, etc. It's just amazing how much we take for granted in our life. And I'm thinking in 180 years from now, in the year 2200, they're going to look at how we're living the same way we look on 180 years ago. When we look back 180 years ago, they wouldn't have electricity or water supply infrastructure. They wouldn't have good food supplies. They wouldn't have good housing or heat or electricity. They just simply wouldn't have virtually everything that we take for granted. So I'm wondering, what will the world be like in 180 years' time? That would make them see us the same way we see people 180 years ago. So I'm just stunned at what kind of things will be invented and created that would make us seem backward and basic, and people in the year 2200 wouldn't want to live as we are because they would see it as really basic and awful when it comes down to it. So there's so much to invent and create that we haven't discovered yet, we haven't thought of yet, we haven't dreamt of yet. And it is just amazing to know that life will change dramatically going forward. We won't see very much of it. I won't see very much of it. But I only don't see a certain amount. But whatever it is, it's still going to be significant. And it is very hard to conceive of how things will be much more improved than now. Because we think we're living the high life. But the reality is there's a lot more to learn, a lot more to produce and do, basically. And I just can't imagine what those changes will be.